everybody? It is Monday and we're back to work. Me and Jude up here has got to haul some equipment home from that job in Johnstown, and hell, I forgot the excavator and the tractor were sitting up there until I was thinking about it on our way home from Georgia. So I got to go up here and get this equipment hauled back home before I forget where I left it. So anyway, we're going to do that today, and figure I'll take a few minutes to talk a little bit about the weekend. We'll get into it later in depth, but we had a great time. We went to Albany, Georgia, went down to US 19 Dragway, saw all our friends from Alabama and Georgia and Florida, and just had a fantastic time. I think we lost third round to Alabama Patches. A young man from Alabama's got a little S10, bad little truck. You know, unfortunately, I don't know. I think we made a mistake, but last second decision. You know, I had a brand new set of Mickeys mounted up, stiff sidewall Mickeys mounted up on the Bogarts feedlocks, ready to put on there to go to Georgia. And the last second, Billy decided he wanted to try a set of Hoosiers instead. I'm not a big fan of Hoosiers, but it's his call. He wanted to do it. We went and made that test hit on a Virgin Street, which you saw that video last week, and it was good. You know, I mean, the truck really ran good, but we weren't pushing it hard to 60 foot. Well, Billy thought that was going to be the best thing for the pad or the hole, but when we got down there, it really wasn't. I really wish we would have taken the Mickeys with us, because I feel like we could have probably won that deal on Mickeys. But the Hoosiers, regular sidewall Hoosiers, they're really good on a junk street, like a completely junk street. Like something you can't 60 foot faster than 148 or 145. They're okay for that. But if you need to push something down into the 130s, high 120s or faster, that ain't the tire. Just my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right, but that's my opinion. And when we got down there, we needed to go low 130, 60 foots, in my opinion, and we couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. I mean, we tried our hardest, but it's hard for me to see at night because I can't hardly see worth a shit anyway. But I really couldn't see what the tire was doing, and I didn't have time to video, because I'm backing Billy up and he takes off before I can even get my phone out of my pocket most of the time. Anyway, I couldn't see it, but I could hear what the tires were doing, and I could hear with my ears. I could hear on his test passes and everything, I could hear the tire wadding up and driving over itself and paddling. So I knew that we weren't where we needed to be, and we tried and tried and tried. We went up into air pressure and it got worse. Not, when I say it got worse, it didn't paddle the tire as bad, but it didn't hook as good either. And it actually lost a mile an hour down track. So we found out real quick we couldn't just add air pressure to make that go away or to fix that problem, because then it was worse down track. So whatever, learned a lesson, but we still had a great time. But I really didn't get time to video and vlog very much, because there were so many people there that were coming up to get posters from Tommy and Allison, and they were wanting stuff signed and wanted to talk to me and Billy, and I was kind of overwhelmed, honestly. Something you guys may not know about me is that I'm an introvert. I don't do well in crowds, and I struggle talking to people that I don't really know, and I'm working really hard at it to do better. But it's hard for me because I'm a very genuine person, and I struggle really bad, and I'm trying my hardest to do better, but I struggle really bad when people come up to me and bring up, you know, kind of personal topics that, you know, even though I'm on YouTube and Billy's on YouTube, you have to understand that I don't really watch YouTube. I just don't. I've watched it more in the last month than I ever have, but mostly if I'm watching YouTube, I watch documentaries. Like this morning I watched one on Biggie Smalls and Tupac and the East Coast West Coast rivalry back in the 90s. You know, I find that kind of stuff interesting. I like watching World War II documentaries, stuff like that, but I don't really watch YouTube for racing that much. I don't know, just can't seem to get into it. So it's hard for me to understand why anybody really wants to watch me or watch my kids, but I'm glad you all do, you know. But anyway, didn't get a chance to take too much video, and I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. We got home around, I think, 2:30 in the morning. And I slept in, got some lunch. My wife and Tommy came today and unloaded Billy's truck and unloaded the scooter and unloaded the Suburban, cleaned it all out. But I think we're getting right back on the road Thursday. Today's Monday, we got to be back on the road Thursday. And I really can't say where we're going because I'm not 100% sure that it's going to happen. Two, I don't think we're allowed to have spectators or invite spectators. So I have to be mindful and courteous of the people who's doing this and their wishes. So we can't really say where we're going. And I'm not even sure it's going to happen yet. We'll see. But we've got a lot of work to do this week. We got to get the oil changed in the S10. Probably ought to check all the valves. We had a couple of valves that were loose down in Georgia. Had to fix that. And I know we got a little header gasket leaking on it. We need to fix that. So got a lot of stuff to do this week. It's getting cold. I know I got to get antifreeze and everything. 55 doesn't have antifreeze. This dump truck, I think, needs antifreeze. I think everything we own's got water in it. So need to go do that. But anyway, I'm going to hop off here for a little bit. And we'll get back with everybody later after I get done working for the day. I did sit down with Brian Joseph, you know, that guy from Street Outlaws New Orleans and Flags down at the pad. Very interesting conversation with BJ. I think you guys are really going to appreciate and enjoy it. You know, it's different to sit down and ask personal questions to somebody that you don't really know. I know BJ from what I know of him just from television and being around him at the pad. And we hired him to come flag a race for us in Kentucky one time. And I don't know, I've always just kind of gravitated towards him, and I've always respected him. Although I didn't really know him personally, but after sitting down with him, I think you all are going to enjoy it. So that's probably coming up today. Billy has to edit that for me because he and Tommy videoed that on the professional cameras, and we have a voice recording of it that has to be all put together. So that may be part of this video by the time this is all said and done, but I doubt it, because I don't really want to junk up BJ's interview with just me talking about the weekend and what we got to get done. So that video will probably be in and of itself. Might release it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'll be back with y'all later. You ready to go load the equipment up, girl? We'll go help Papaw? All right. You're crazy. All right, come on. What do you think, girl? Glad to be back to work? Huh? Always with me. All right, you ready? All right. Let's go. Go on over there. Move over. All right. You're so pretty. All right. Let's head home. Almost forgot where I left that damn tractor in the hoe. My days and nights are so screwed up, and I get wore out and tired. I'm doing good to remember whether I'm coming or going. Anyhow, we're going to head home, but I was just thinking, how blessed we are to be able to do what we've been doing, traveling and racing. It's very fortunate, very blessed, very thankful for all the support from the community and everything. And man, I'll tell you, we had some really, really nice people stop and see us this weekend down at the hole. Man, there was people that drove from 3.5, 4, 5 hours away to come see us. I just can't believe it. I got on a scooter and I rode down to Subway. There's a Subway sub shop here not far from the track. Just go out the front gate and turn right. It's down there on the left. And I thought I'd go down to Subway and get something to eat. So I hopped on a little scooter and drove down there. I walked into Subway in Albany, Georgia. You know, we're 12 hours from home. And I walk in, I'm standing in line waiting, and this man stands up from a table in the back and walks up to me. Kind of a Middle Eastern looking guy, and introduced himself and said, watch your channel and your boys' channel. I've been watching for a long time and really respect what you're doing, and shook my hand, and I was just blown away. I was like, I can't believe somebody recognized me in a Subway, you know, a Subway sub shop. But this YouTube and social media thing it's pretty big. I mean, there was a guy there with him. In fact, there was a guy with him there from Mexico, like the real country Mexico. And he watches us. He's like, everybody down where I'm from watches you guys. I was like, this is crazy. This is nuts. I don't know, guys. I'm just very thankful. I'm blown away by it, honestly, but very thankful. My family is very thankful. But we're going to continue to try and knock out some videos and show you guys behind the scenes and help grow the sport of drag racing. And we got some really neat things coming up. I was talking to Tommy's little girlfriend, pro cars, and he's big into bracket racing and super stock and stock eliminator and HRA racing, and I really enjoy that stuff too. And she's wanting to get a car together so she can race a little bit. And our local track right next to our house has a Wednesday night program, point series, that she can run, and it won't affect us any at all because we're usually out on the weekends busy. And it's windy today. So anyway, I told her on the way back from Georgia, while we were down in Georgia, I said, everybody's been asking about my Nova. I'll be honest, I just don't have any real drive or ambition to race anymore. I've put everything, for the last, 20 years, I really haven't raced in 20 years. I mean, I've gotten in the car every once in a while and went racing, but for the most part, I haven't really raced in 20 years. And I don't know. I put everything into my kids for the last 20 plus years, and I just I don't know. I guess I just lost touch with what I did, or doing things for myself. I haven't done that in over 20 years. I've done everything to help my kids for the last 20 years, and so that's become me. I used to be big into racing, but when my kids started racing junior dragsters, and Billy got his little S10 and we started racing it, and we started street racing it, that really kind of took over my life. I put every dime, and many dimes that I didn't have and shouldn't have done. I spent way too much. But had I not done it back then, my kids wouldn't be where they're at today, and in a lot of ways I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And it's not been easy. I mean, sometimes, my family's no different than anybody else's family. We have family struggles, and we go through hard times. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. That oldest boy of mine, some of the decisions that he's made, there's a time where I begged for the Lord to take me home. I just couldn't take it anymore. Some of the shit that's gone down the last 2 years. I've literally begged for the Lord to take me home and just put me out of my misery. But the Lord has blessed my family tremendously, and I asked God to either help take care of this problem or make it better, or take me home, one or the other. And I really didn't care which it was. He's been trying to help us make it better, so he's got better plans for me than put me in the dirt, I guess. But anyway, I gotta get off here. I'm trying to drive, and I'm in traffic, and really should be paying closer attention to what I'm doing. But I'll get back with you guys after we get home and get this equipment unloaded. Alright, I'm back. I got out of that traffic jam I was in there. Pretty easy going for the rest of the way back to the shop, so I feel like I can talk a little bit. Anyway, what I was saying is, our family's been through some rough times, so right now we're kind of on an upswing and things are going better. They're not 100%, but they're better than they've ever been in a long time. But there's some personal things that are going to come up on the channel here pretty soon, I imagine. had to change the way I approach things, because I'm a very head-on type of person, no filter. I say it how I feel, and that's got me in some trouble. And I've made some mistakes, but I wasn't wrong in what I was doing and saying. I shouldn't say that. I was wrong in my approach of how I approach these problems. I was never wrong with where I stood. I was not wrong in where I stood on situations, but the way I approached the problem was wrong. So there's some things that are going to come up probably in the next week or so, I would imagine, because I've had a lot of people asking about why we don't use Skinny's traction compound anymore, and there's just no way to get into that subject without digging into some personal shit. But I'm not really wanting to put a bunch of personal stuff out on the internet, but it's easy to show the good side of things. That's easy to do when you're winning, things are going good. It's easy to show that stuff. That's a no-brainer. But the hard part is showing the downside to things, the tough times, the things that you're not proud of. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to go into humongous detail in it and drag a bunch of dirty laundry out. But I do have to be honest with my viewers, because if somebody made mention to me this weekend down in Georgia that they were reluctant, because they were a little bit reluctant to come and see us in person, because they've looked up to people that they've seen on YouTube or on television in the past, and you think you know them by what you see, and then when you get there, they're not that person, or the car that you think that they drive that you can relate to isn't quite what you thought it was when you get there. And they made the comment they were really impressed. Just for an example, they were impressed at the door panel on Billy's truck, the driver's side door panel that's ripped up and tore all to hell, blowing in the breeze. It's really like that in person when they saw the truck for the first time in person. And I'm learning that there's little things like that that make people identify with my family and these crazy YouTube channels. And it's refreshing. I feel that it's refreshing to people that in a world full of backwards bullshit, and when right is wrong and wrong is right, up is down and down is up, and everything that's really bad or immoral seems to get the most attention, and yet here I am standing in my, on my values, and I won't bend from it. It's refreshing to people to see that there's somebody out there that's still just themselves, that's not trying to be somebody they're not. And one thing I want to mention to you guys that I really struggle with is I'm not going to stand here and say that I'm famous, or my son's famous, or my family's famous. Jason Shearer's famous, Big Chief's famous, Murder Nova's famous. Those guys are what I consider famous. We're not famous. We're just, I don't know what what you call us. We're not famous, but we're well known, I guess. Maybe. Internet famous. Whatever. But we got where we are by doing things that we were doing anyway. We were doing all this stuff before the YouTube channel. We were doing this stuff well before anybody knew who Billy was or Tommy was or my family or me. We became well known for doing something that we were doing legitimately. Like, this is what we do, this is our life, this is who we are. And we become well known for that. There's a big difference between that and someone who is doing things intentionally to become famous. There's a big difference. You're not going to become famous, you're not going to become well known, you're not going to be successful in copying things that other people do all the time, like verbatim. Like, we all go drag racing, we're all drag racers, so you could say we're copying other people, I guess, but we do it our own way. We're our own people. We don't necessarily follow other people on Instagram and copy what they do just so that we can be like them. That's not how it works. Or copy people on YouTube. I don't even watch YouTube hardly at all. I'm starting to watch more of it. I'm starting to learn how to enjoy things like that. There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube that I didn't realize until I started seeing comments from people about this is my favorite YouTube channel. Like, maybe I need to see what the heck they're talking about, what else is out there, because I don't know how I could be anybody's favorite YouTube channel. You know, I don't know how that could be possible. What the hell am I doing different than anybody else? I don't know. But I'm starting to see that being myself and being honest goes a long way with people. That's a long-term game. That's not a short-term game. That's a long-term game. Short-term game is clickbait. Short-term game is doing what everybody else does to get attention. That's short-term game. This is long-term game. There's a big difference. Doing it the way I'm doing, it's going to take a lot longer. Maybe it's going to be a lot harder. But I hope that if this YouTube channel really takes off someday, like some of the other big YouTubers, I hope that people can look back through my first videos, my first few months, and say, well, he's the same person today he was when he got started. And the only way that can be is if I'm just who I am. You can't fake that. Anyway, I've been long-winded and running my pie hole for way too long, so I probably best get off here. I don't even know what the hell I'm going to do with all this yakking today, because I don't know if anybody really wants to hear it or see it or not. Hell, I'm just driving a dump truck. But I don't get time to just sit here and talk like this very often, because I'm always working. I always got to be doing something to keep up. So I apologize if you guys find this video boring or just skipping through it looking for something interesting. Maybe some of you will enjoy it. But I'm going to hop off here for today. It's probably already too long of a video. Might upload something again later tonight. Love you. love y'all.